this is John for MTG Nexus coming at you with another short deck tech for Incinerator Burn with the green splash on the sideboard. As a friendly reminder, if you like lightning bolt based content, especially in the modern format, please consider subscribing to the channel, as we get to be the most informative modern channel on YouTube. So this is a continuation of the Manatraders series. The first 6 matches have already been shown. One was the original green splash with only 2 Klothys on the board. This is the updated green splash version. I was somewhat impressed so far by Klothys and Surgical Extraction. In the first 3 matches, obviously Surgical didn't come in, but Klothys was obviously pretty critical in some spots. Beyond that, this is the Incinerator version, so we are playing Seal of Fire in the main, in addition to Chandra's Incinerator. Once again, the cuts for that are usually the flex slots for things like Skull Crack, Searing Blaze, and Lightning Helix. There's only 2 Searing Blazes in the main deck. This is a spot that the 4th Seal of Fire and 4th Chandra's Incinerator have occupied at some points. So really, the core of most burn decks is probably these 16 cards, 4 Eidolon, 4 Riftbolt, 4 Skewer, and 4 Boros Charm. And there's really 8 flex slots, and this version's utilizing 3 Seal, 3 Chandra's Incinerator, and 3 Searing Blaze. Sideboard, obviously Path to Exile, kind of a requisite for any of these burn decks. Even if you're playing Rakdos, you're tending to play a Fatal Push just to have something to deal with annoying creatures like Tarmogoyf and Death Shadows. Also pretty good against things like Thought-Knot Seer, and to a certain extent Reality Smasher. 2 Surgical Extraction. This is kind of Poseidon's tech against the snow decks, specifically being able to hard target Neuro, get it out of there once it's in the graveyard. Also comes in against Dredge to try to take out their Creeping Chills most of the time. Can also hit some of the other cards in that deck. 4 copies of Skull Crack because life gain's a thing, whether it be Kitchen Finxes or Weather the Storms or Obstinate Balos or Thrag Tusks or Wormcoil Engines. There's a lot of decks with different types of life gain going on. Scavenging Ooze, although Ooze is a little bit harder to pin down. 3 copies of D-Rev, because you do need answers to things like Chalice of the Void and such. And then 3 copies of Klothys, God of Destiny, because this is kind of your best tech against the snow decks. Once again, this is pre-bannings, so Klothys, God of Destiny here kind of comes in against snow. Also can come in against Jund, can come in the mirror. It's not as effective in the mirror and prowess as something like maybe Core Firewalker onto, but the earlier it comes down, it can buy you some time, especially if you can answer the initial wave of creatures. It becomes the more attrition-based top deck game. Gaining 2 life and dealing 2 damage every turn is pretty nice in those kind of matchups. So let's get into the matches and see how it goes. We are back for another match. Burn here. Unfortunately, we're on the draw here in the Manatraders series. This hand's perfectly fine. One keeps their 7. We keep their 7. Stomping Ground, go. And a good matchup for them, too. There's a Chill, there's Amoeba. We get 2 Amalgams back, so not the best matchup for us. we're basically dead here. What's even like our plan of attack here? Take 6 and like it, I guess. Shape either way, so I think we have to try to race. Goes for Ox, we're probably dead. Yep, there's the Ox. Alright, definitely bringing in the Clothai and the Surgicals. Eidolons can come out. Skull Cracks probably need to come in here. Those Charms are pretty bad. We cut the Skewer, I guess. We keep this hand? Yeah, I think we keep this hand. Puts a lot of pressure on our opponent, if nothing else. Doesn't have a Clothis, doesn't have a Surgical, but Cathartic on top. Nope. Alright, unfortunately losing to Dredge here, so c'est la vie. Alright, we're back for another match on the play. Mulligan here. Guess we keep this one. Our opponent. Yuri on deck. So kind of Yuri on deck. Guess we don't really know. This is probably just basic island into Astrolabe. Okay, nope. Search for tomorrow, so we're up against Scape Shift. Good to know. To 8. It's a terrible time to top deck that one. Okay. Nope. Terrible draws. here. Okay. Sure. These can come out, these can come in, though they're not admittedly the best. Skull cracks can come in. Rough copy of Skull Crack. Down to Seal Fire because they're just garbage without the Incinerator in the deck. Select by first. And it's pretty reasonable. That still has their Urion. Surprise, surprise. Yep. It's unfortunate. They go to 12. Good thing not to show them that this team. They weather the storm. We're just skewered no matter how we handle this, so. Okay, they're going to town. Do you have weather the storm here? Sure. You do? Cool. Sure. Can't just gain too much bloody life. Cool. Unfortunate. Alright, we're back for match number 10. Okay. So some type of whatchamacallit deck. Where's that deck? Oh, for Lord's sake. Alright, let's bring in the skull cracks, bring in the D-revs, bring in the clothai. Alright, bring out those. Boros charms. Seal fire, maybe. Select play first. Sounds fine. Okay, we're is unfortunate, but whatever. Yep. Clothis isn't terrible here, I suppose. Sure. You can't balance Clothis, it's not a creature. Yep. See, they make it main phase. They do not, so they're probably dead. Okay, they did. Cool. Not liking my position in the post-board games here. I could bring in Surgical, but I think... Alright, as you wish. So... Okie dokie. So... How else do we attack this mess? Surgical... Could hit sword, I suppose. You were supposed to bring in surgical in this matchup. And... Alright. Can't keep this hand. Guess we keep this one, put back D-Rev and Lava Spike. Oh, it's going to be hard to beat this, even with them stumbling a little bit. I don't think we're winning this game. So frustrating. Cool. Cool. Went from queued to not queued. So frustrating. Alright. Back in a bit with the wrap up. So kind of a very disappointing from a standpoint of results, you know, to get to 6-1 in the Manatraders series and then turn around and go 6-4. For those of you who don't know, the qualifications are within the first 10 matches. If you win 70%, you're qualified. Don't have to play anymore. So if we would have won one of these 3 matches, we would have qualified for the Manatraders series for this month. Kind of frustrating, you know, as you saw that building kind of as we played Dredge, and then we played the Snow, and then we played what was that? Thopter Sword. You know, I did ask my last opponent to concede. They were under no obligation to do so. Obviously, they are still trying to qualify themselves. So, kind of frustrating. The deck isn't particularly well set up to deal with Thopter Sword. It does have some tools, but we don't have like a hard like rest in peace or anything like that. So, in Klothys, obviously, while it can get Thopter Sword, a little bit slower to answer graveyards. Not particularly well set up for that. Dredge matchup, we both didn't see our graveyard hate and didn't have Incinerator draws, so our 2 primary ways of being Dredge kind of got smoked. And then Snow, well, Snow is Snow. There's a reason why it's getting a ban here in a couple of days. So, powerful deck. I do like where this burn deck is at. The one thing that I'm not quite sure of is the green splash itself, in terms of, you know, should the white be in the main deck? Should the, you know, just have Path Exile on the sideboard? Ironically, these matches were played before the showcase open, but this video is going up after the showcase open. And I think I ended up deciding on the green splash for that, or green in the main, white splash on that one. You know, there's a lot of different things you can do to tweak these decks. Sometimes I think we get caught up in the kind of mindset that Boros is the best burn. And yes, in an abstract, Boros is the best build of burn. But, you know, when you're trying to play tech cards like Klothys, God of Destiny, you know, sometimes, you know, Boros Trum's a great card, don't get me wrong, but a Tarkus Command can also be an amazing card. So, it's kind of why I ended up on the green splash in the Modern Showcase. But, yeah, very fun to play. And as you can tell, some of these deck text and intros or outros are after the fact of the matches played. I tend to play matches in batches and then kind of do the intros and stuff afterwards, which makes it a little bit easier to do, you know, especially the Manatraders series when you're only available from noon to midnight, and I work 1 to 10 most days, so on my days off I'm just kind of going match. So, you know, while you might see these matches over 2 or 3 days, sometimes they actually were played in one day, so something to keep in mind. Anywho, this has been John for MTG Nexus, and the ban discussion will be coming out later today after I get off work tonight. Obviously, the bannings should be live probably sometime around 3 or 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Unfortunately, I'll be at work at that point in time. So, hope you all have a great day, and I hope the bannings aren't too hard on Snow, but something does gotta go. So, see you in the next video.